Open up the Harbor Committee meeting for the town of Chincoteague for the month of May. Any public comment? Going once, going twice. Thank y'all. Need a motion to adopt tonight's agenda? I'll second it. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye, aye. All right, Harbor finances. Mike?
Okay, if you look at the finance, right now you'll see that the harbor shows it's in the hole by $336,000.
Damn, Vernon's gonna have to pick it up.
Not to worry, we've been paying the contractor for the ramp out of that fund, and we haven't made the transfers into the account for that yet. So once those, we've also got a BPA project left over from last year that, well, that one's been fully paid for, reimbursed, but we have this year's BPA project, which we've received the materials for, but we have not completely reimbursed from that yet either. So once we receive all that and make the transfers, Vernon will be in the black, so there's no worries there.
In other words, I'm supporting the whole town.
With fuel
But
sales.
If you'll look, fuel sales you're making money in fuel. If you look at subleases, we budgeted $45,000, and I think at this present time, year to date, what are we, $60,099. So exceeded revenues and subleases. Vernon's hustling there. And what else we got? Fuel. If you look at fuel revenue is $432,000 year to date. Fuel expenditures are $404,000 year to date. So you're about $28,000 we did in fuel. So yeah, we'll be fine there once we make those transfers. We generally do that by the end of the fiscal year. So.
And on the fuel, my best months are always May and June, too.
Oh yeah.
Well, after that little debacle we had last year too, that little hiccup that cost us for last year.
Well, we brought it out of the hole, though. It was, well, hey, if it hadn't been for...
You're welcome.
What him? He wasn't
Were you
I
the
caught
guy?
him. I caught him. He didn't-
You caught him.
yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse.
But we have procedures in place now and everything, so we're good to go.
No. Yeah, we check it every day.
Any questions on the harbor finances?
Nope.
Not for me. Mike? Rolling right along. Just, I don't think this will be as short as that last one.
Dean's going to be in here tomorrow and plan on starting first thing Monday morning, ripping the old dock out. We got putting the Freedom somewhere, and I've only got a couple boats tied up. I've kind of kept everybody away from that just so I didn't have to move 20 boats on short notice. So I think it's just Ray Twyford and Ronnie Birch are probably the only two there. So that's not going to be an issue. So Dean's going to start ripping that out, and we're hauling the stuff to you and your sister.
Yep.
Okay. That's the plan. And it should take about a week to rip that one out and a week to put the new one in. And I think me, Edwin, and Joe's going to be putting this stuff together next week or so. It's, we really ain't got to put it together next week because it's the following week when he starts.
Putting them together.
Right now we put it together. We're going to have a parking lot full of.
Did you order the signs?
Yes. Hey, I always said I'd already ordered them. They're sitting in the shop.
There you go. So the new signs for the slips are already there.
Yeah. I talked to him yesterday. He said I already ordered them.
Memorial Day, that facility will be up and
Yes.
running.
Yes, absolutely. And that's it on that.
And all the boats are supposed to be off the parking lot by then as well.
They're getting there. They're getting there. It's right now. I got to get this dock done so I can put everybody back where they belong. Right now, I've got everybody scattered out all over the place. And I apologize to the Harbor Committee and whoever else is concerned about the grass not being cut up on Mariners Point promptly, but we did get to it as soon as we heard about it, didn't we, Mike?
Yes, sir.
And I've been there for 7 years, and it's never not been cut, so I'm sorry. And we'll leave it at that.
It's cut now, it's good to go. In fact, it was cut the next day, so.
Yes, it was.
All right, let's plan the additional trailer park at Memorial Park. I mean, you got a conceptual drawing, or is it just
On the screen.
on the screen?
That's a rough area of where this is gonna go. Basically, the parking that you see now is on this side, on the south side of that median. We're gonna make a mirror image of that on the north side.
Cool.
The one thing, and Wes and I have been looking at it for a while now, the one thing that we still have questions back, and we'll probably take some trucks and trailers down there and try it, is if Wes's idea was to have the pull-in parking slanted like this on this side, make this one way, move around to the north side, and have the slanting going the opposite direction, so it's one way all the way around. I have some concerns about that because, as you all have seen, when the lot gets full, they won't stop at this last space. They'll keep parking around the circle, and the trailers hang way out. And if a truck and trailer go around, we want them to be able to swing wide enough to pull into a spot. And if there's another truck and trailer in the way, then the first couple spots over here won't get used. So we're gonna take a look at that and make sure that that's doable. And then if not, then we will make the parking spaces on the south side go the same direction that they are
Yeah.
on the north side, the same direction they are on the south side. So you
That would then back right to the ramp.
yeah, and then back right into the ramp. So we'll take a look at that and make sure we can do what we think we're going to do. Wes has been talking to our current paving contractor, that's Paragon Paving, and the base material for this area, we're going to take the millings off of Lennox Boulevard and the millings off of Cropper Street when we do it, and take them down there and stockpile them, and use those millings for base material for that new parking.
So is that line that's on the top 200 yards from home plate?
Yes, it's more than 200 feet.
200 feet.
It's more than 200 feet. So you'll have a 200-foot fence.
Right, that's what I'm getting at. I'm wondering how much more space we can utilize.
Well,
going
once
toward home plate.
we get it laid out and lined off, we'll maximize the home run fence.
Because the problem I see with down there is we're gonna have a lot of pontoon boats. And I got a feeling that those parking lots were made for a pickup truck and a small trailer.
We can restripe them. My personal opinion and how I've always done this is they say the standard VDOT or standard parking space now is 9 by 18. 10 by 20 is my minimum. They should never be less than 10 foot wide. And of course, these are much longer than 20 because of the truck and trailer. So.
Right.
Well, a lot of your pontoon boats are gonna be 22, 24 foot. Mine's 24 foot. And that's 24 foot plus the engine sticking out the back too.
Tongue of the trailer.
Yeah, tongue, yeah, so it's plus the tongue.
You got 3 to 5 feet for the tongue of the trailer and all that.
Yeah.
We'll take a couple boats down there and lay them out, but that's the idea. This generally just shows you where it's going to
Right.
go. Wes has been talking to Paragon about doing all the earthwork and base work and everything. And the idea is this year to get the parking lot roughed out and get the millings in there and base material in and tighten it up as best we can, and then put some parking bumpers down and let parking happen there this year. Maybe in the fall. We've got money in FY '24 to repave Memorial Park. Of course, that doesn't include this new lot. But if we get the base material down now and the parking lot identified and the curb in, there's gonna be a curb as well, and drainage done and all that, then hopefully in the fall, when we take the money in that budget to pave Memorial Park, we can pave that at the same time. There won't be any joint. It'll be a nice solid
Right.
one-piece overlay, and it'll be a good job. And then everything will be restriped, and we can respace to these spaces then. That'll give us some time over the summer to see what's working and what's not.
And the millings make a very good base.
Millings make a great base, and they don't have to haul those off. They can take them right here.
Cost us zero.
Do we need that medium there?
You know, we could take it out, but let's leave it in our sound
For now.
now.
I've actually seen trucks and trailers parked on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it down at the harbor.
Everywhere.
When there's not enough spaces, they'll park anywhere.
Well, I mean, that's actually what I tell them, you know, park where they can.
As long as they don't park in the middle of the daggone road so we can get around it. That's
True.
the thing, because then you've got a mess. But
Okay.
that's the concept right here. This is Wes's, this comes right from our capital improvement plan. This is a project in our capital improvement plan, and this is the project sheet for that. So,
Have you got an
10
estimate how many slips, how many spots it'll be?
it'll double the ones we have there,
Okay.
which I don't know, I think it's 14 or something like that. I haven't counted
Well,
it lately.
that's pretty good.
310 foot of curb demo, fence demo, 175 feet, 166 cubic yards of excavation, 333 tons of crusher run, base, which we're going to substitute the millings for that, 111 tons of asphalt and pavement markings, estimated cost is $80,000. We're hoping to save a little money on that. Wes thinks that's a budget estimate. Budget estimates are made high on purpose so that you look like a hero when it comes in under it. Right? Worst thing in the world is to go do a project and not have enough money at the end of the job in your budget.
Right.
So, anyhow, that's that, and that's the idea where it's going. I just wanted to make the committee aware of what we had planned. Once we get spring paving out of the way, we'll go down there and lay that out and see if we can't get Paragon to start on that.
Are we gonna have a ribbon cutting of the
I
Memorial
think that's
Park ramp?
in order for a $400,000 project.
Yeah.
Who's gonna be the first one? You gonna be the first one?
You.
Me?
Sounds like. Which
What-
pontoon boat award?
It's a very nice ramp. We went to see Folly Creek. I really think it's better than Folly Creek. I
That's
mean,
absolutely above the Folly Creek.
the Folly Creek don't have the water.
No, it's not as deep.
When I went down there,
It's not as deep.
I went down there a couple of times when they were doing the concrete. Them guys were, I mean.
Oh, yeah.
They were, down there, it was well over their heads.
Oh, yeah, it's gonna be 8 foot deep at the end of the ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's
4
it's
foot
designed to
dead
be
low water.
4 foot deep at the bottom of the ramp at dead low tide
If you
That's
can't
a lot.
launch your boat in 4 foot of water, something's wrong.
Yeah.
on a 60-foot ramp.
Yeah.
And that dock going down the middle is will keep people from, that's a lot of people's concerns when you've got a double boat ramp is pulling in, or having somebody pull inside you to run into you and all that. And I understand that too. I don't want nobody running into me. So that's, I mean, it's just a very nice boat ramp.
Now, the other issue I see is we're gonna have kayakers start wanting to use that walkway to put their kayaks in. That's
Well,
just-
when we put the kayak launch in that we have now, we did that with the intention of if it works well, then we'll buy a second. So that probably is what we need to do, is get a second one of those and give them double the capacity. Help keep
Well,
them in that launch and keep the boats in the other
Yeah.
launch.
And I don't think it matters how many signs we have or what.
They don't read signs.
They don't read signs.
Rule of thumb is people don't read signs, and even when they do, they think it doesn't apply to them.
I rode down there last night just to see what Dean was working on. And a guy from New York was riding past me and he threw his hands up and stopped me. And I'm like, can I help you? He's like, where am I supposed to put my kayaks in? I was like, what are you talking about? He said, the ramp's all closed. I can't put my kayaks in. I was like, no, there's a kayak ramp right down the street if you care to look at the sign.
100 yards
And I was
away.
just, John Q. Citizen. He was giving it to me.
You get some credit. That's
I was
one
like,
thing.
oh.
You don't have a whole lot down the harbor because most time
Yeah,
it's
there's
too
too much
busy,
traffic.
too
Yeah.
rough out there in the canal. And East Side's the perfect place for the kayak.
Yep,
there.
perfect place.
But yeah, he was kind of some kind of upset that the ramp was closed on his vacation from New York.
Been closed for a month or two.
But he had planned on that.
They've done a good job on the ramp. It's very first class.
Yeah.
And the businesses, the tour guides that we have using the kayak launch, I mean, once they started using it, I know there's only one of them, but we haven't had any complaints about it once they started using it.
Ain't hurt no harm.
It's got a rail for you to hold on to while you lower yourself in and roll yourself back out. I think, the only thing I think we could improve it with is put a second one
Second one, so you can launch multiple boats.
in. You launch a couple at a time, yeah.
Well, if we put a second one in, we're just putting in a, one hooking a piece of
One more
dock
float.
to that.
We're hooking another piece of dock to the one that's there, and we told them when they designed that one, that's what we would eventually be
Okay.
doing, so it should have a connection plate already on it.
Okay, cool.
That'll work.
All right, sounds good.
All right, anything else for the good of the order? Give you all, and the public, another chance to speak, now that you've heard us. Nothing? Waiting for something, right?
Thanks for coming, guys.
Everybody's happy.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Adios.